Well, hi everybody, and welcome to this edition of Sports Talk. I'm Jimmy Allinder, and my guest this afternoon is the Supervisor of Athletics, Frank Noppenberger. Frank, thanks very much for joining us.
Well, as always, thank you, and thank you to TV3 for filming our games and giving the coverage we need, because it really helps a lot, and I've told you that in many ways. It wasn't too long ago, Jim, we were sitting here, and I can't believe how quick the fall season went. It may have been a week shorter as far as days are concerned, but boy, did it go quick. And next Friday, we have a pep rally, and bowling has started, swimming has started, and winter season starts.
That's amazing. But let's reflect on the fall season. That's why we're here. And I wanted to begin by stating some information that Frank gave me, and I think it is a tribute to the quality and success of the sports program in general at East Brunswick, and that is that the season's fall teams finished with 102 victories, 41 losses, and 3 ties for a 71% winning percentage. That's outstanding. Do you have any comparison as to how this season's been compared to others in the past?
We're always in that 70%, 71, 72. I think last year was 73. The difference is sometimes just 1 or 2 games. We didn't win as many titles this year as last year, yet we're only a percentage point or 2 percentage points difference in winning percentage. Sometimes that's just the way, the luck. But it was a very good year. Some teams like gymnastics maybe had their best team ever by scoring points, but all those titles eluded them because the opponent was scored a little bit higher. But we'll get into that later.
Okay. East Brunswick always being one of the larger schools in the state of New Jersey, actually, in terms of enrollment. Something I wanted to ask you up top, and that is the recent decision by the NJSIAA on behalf of the coaches actually making, or was it the athletic directors that did the voting? But let me explain to you what it was. It appears that we're going to be moving next fall to a realignment within the grouping. Traditionally, it was North Jersey 1, North Jersey 2, Central Jersey, and South Jersey. There's going to be some changes up and down throughout the groups. This was recently voted on. I understand you were on the committee.
Right.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what the reasons for this. And
there is an inequity of numbers in schools from the south versus the north, per section and per group. Let me give you an example. You could be a group 3 in Central Jersey, but if you were in South Jersey, you could be a group 4. If you were in North Jersey, you could be a group 2. So now when state tournament time came, one school could have 300, 400 more students than a team from the other section. When the South came up to play Central, could have had 300 more schools.
Students.
Students, not schools.
Okay. So it was South had an advantage, so to speak.
Right. Not only that, and then to get a sectional title, now we're inside the section.
I understand.
There was an inequity in the number of schools in each. Okay, it was used to be done by counties.
Right.
Central Jersey was Hunterdon County, Middlesex, Somerset.
Little part of Mercer and Monmouth.
And part of Monmouth, right.
Right.
Okay, but most of it done by strictly counties.
Yeah.
And now it's done by geography. They just drew lines. Here's what they did. They took every school by population, from the biggest, Elizabeth, to the smallest, whoever that may be. And they divided that into quartiles, and now there's 4. So the biggest schools are group 4, the next is group 3, group 2, group 1. So now every school's got the same amount of teams. Schools, not teams, schools in it. You follow me?
Students.
Students. I keep doing that.
That's okay.
Now they take that and they put it on a map. And the computer did it all, but they pinned in every school, group 4 in New Jersey. And they put 20 in the south, 20 in central, 20 north 2, 20 north 1.
Okay.
So now group 4 had the same amount of schools in each section of the state.
Right.
And they did the same for the next core trial for Central, and then for, for Group 3, Group 2, and 1.
Right.
Now, who is affected? Any school that is north of East Brunswick. For instance, Edison High School will be in Central Jersey. J.P. Stevens High School, which is the same town, will be in North Jersey.
Right.
It's only for state tournament play,
Right.
and it's only for certain sports. It's only for certain sports that aren't sport-specific. The state already did that for volleyball and field hockey and winter tracks
I see.
and swimming and golf. They've already done that. This is for the baseball, the basketball, the softball, the you gave you that, for those. Now football, which is people thought was the driving force behind this, it's going to be a change. I'm not letting any secret out. There's a proposal to do it with football schools like they did with field hockey. They did it by schools that play football. I said Central Jersey could have 20 Group 1 schools. They have 20 Group 1 schools, but maybe only 5 of them play football.
Correct. Yeah,
So
I
that
see.
you're back to an inequity.
Okay.
So they're going to go sports-specific by group.
And when can we expect that football
Fall.
change? So we haven't seen the end of this, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
And then
interesting.
it's just making everything equal. You'll still play everyone within your conference.
Right, because
And
this
it's
is
only
right.
state tournament play. Now, how will it affect East Brunswick if people are thinking? Well, soccer, girls soccer. Let's go with girls soccer. Well, we'll have to play Brick and Brick Memorial. Brick Memorial was Group 4 state champs this year. Right, so we're going to have to play them in our section this year to get out of it.
Okay.
But boys soccer, we lose Bridgewater. All right. In softball, we lose J.P. Stevens. So that's an advantage.
I
right?
see what you're
Stevens
saying.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
So for East Brunswick, the way I looked at it, it helps some sports and maybe hurt another. We compete against anyone, anytime, any place. It just maybe make it a little more difficult.
Well, it's a little bit I won't say revolutionary, but it's made to address the changes that have occurred in the demographics of the state.
Exactly.
And like you said, we haven't seen the end of it. That's great. Let's look at this fall season, okay? And as you always do, you provide a list of the teams, their coaches, and some of the accomplishments. I'm going to call on you to talk about some of the athletes. Up at the top, you have athletic training with Phil Hostler.
Right. We have a group of SATs, student athletic trainers, that work with Mr. Hostler and with a team. They're assigned to a team and they work with them throughout the whole season. It's like a manager, but they are training. They take care of the things that a first aider may take care of.
Okay.
And Phil takes these kids sometimes as freshmen or sophomores and graduate through. And this year, let me just mention our two seniors, Rasham Patel and Mike Mattias, did a great job for us. They're involved in their particular sport, and they will continue that in the winter. Now, what I really wanted to mention is that Phil has got, Mr. Haas has got about 4 former student trainers throughout the state being the trainer at a particular high school. Scotch Plains, South River. Now you're putting pressure on me.
No, that's okay. But the point is well made, though.
Right.
A lot of the kids that have worked under Phil have embraced the profession and have gone on to do it themselves.
And they put a lot of time and effort in, and I just felt it was necessary that we talk about them.
Okay. Let's get into the regular sports. We'll begin with boys soccer, coached again by Dan Haston. He's been there a long time. He's one of the deans now in the state of New Jersey of boys soccer coaching. Team had 11, 7, and 1 mark. That's hard to judge. I don't want you to judge it, but at the same time, East Brunswick's boys team has had so much success in the past that when you see a record that even teases at 500, you say to yourself, maybe it wasn't the best season.
Yeah, record-wise, it wasn't. We lost a lot of kids. We had a kid like Zach Simi and Adam Teplesky who had been scorers for this year, lost for the year. We graduated from a state championship team last year, like 11 people. So we lost a lot. We lost some key injuries. No excuse. We just couldn't put the ball in the goal sometimes, but we still made it to the GMC finals. We were second in the red division. and we advanced 2 games in the 2 rounds in the sectional tournament. The record didn't indicate how good we were. We played our best ball at the end of the year. And, you know, sometimes the other teams just play a little better. Maybe they're luckier. But, you know, we had like a Danny Miller who's going to North Carolina. He was just named All-American. He was just named player, one of the 3 players of the year in New Jersey by the Soccer Coaches Association, who is, you know, demonstrated to the young kids what it takes to be successful. Whenever I came to practice on a Saturday morning, the first person on the field every day, Danny Miller, working on ball skills. And that's why he's got that scholarship. Did I say North Carolina? I meant Duke. Oh, gosh. Duke. He's going to Duke.
Okay.
Then we had another young man, Vinny O'Toole, did a good job for us. Then you had some leadership like Omar Azuri, who maybe didn't play a lot, but provided some stability as a leader. Bobby Reese was in goal. He was part of that championship season. When he got into goal in the middle of the year, we went to a winning streak. Bobby was a leader. The kids played hard for him. We had a young kid named Richie Lasky, who was only a sophomore, who will take a lot of the pressure off everyone else next year being young again. But he's a player, and then, like I said, we got Adam and Zach coming back. We'll be right back there next year.
Okay, the girls' soccer team, coached by Lou Cosa, 17-4-2. And, of course, you had on that team, not 100% of the time, one of the perhaps best player in the state of New Jersey, maybe in the history of the sport.
Maybe.
You know, we'll see where that heads.
Right.
All I know is that Heather O'Reilly is on the national team. Enough said there, and then she's going to the University of North Carolina. But
Right.
talk about the team in general.
Well, we didn't win our GMC championship. We lost in the finals. That's 2 years in a row. But the girls, I know they got together, and they started immediately the next day to make that their ultimate goal. Let's get that GMC title back to East Brunswick where it belongs. And there's a lot of focus. There's going to be a lot of focus on that, a lot of revenge. But they did win the division.
Yes.
Okay, and they advanced 2 rounds in the state tournament also. Piscataway, they played a tough Piscataway team in the GMCs, and Old Bridge beat us in a tight game in the states. But you know, we have Heather, and we have Jenna, and Justine Barbado, who were 2 seniors. I mean, those girls won a lot of games together, and they put East Brunswick, they maintained East Brunswick's spot on the map. And then you got a young kid like Christy Lang coming back, who was only a freshman, who started for us. So we'll be fine, and we'll be back in it next year.
And I'm sure you will. I mean, this is a program, as you say. There's such pride and commitment that when they say that they're going to start a plan to get back to winning the GMCs, you know, you have so much success through the years that when, I mean, also you have to presume that the rest of the county, the GMC, is also making strides. So one of these years they were going to kind of catch
Right.
up.
Well,
And,
we have
yeah.
it's the expectations.
Sure.
Our kids expect to win.
Yeah. Gymnastics, coached by Renee Kutch.
Yeah, Renee
Okay.
Kush just
With an
got
I'm sorry.
no, she just got married
Did
last
she?
year. It was Stoop.
Okay. And with an outstanding 8-1 record. That you say that might be the school's best record?
Not one Ross record, but scoring points,
Oh,
like
okay.
103, 104.
And that's important. That's indicative of the
Okay.
quality of the team.
Right, and we just couldn't get over that Bishop Bar. Bishop Bar was just a point or so ahead of us. But we had great, we have outstanding gymnasts this year. We had Felicia Massaro, Diane Costner, Elisa Conguisto, and Alexis Miller, who did a great job for us at providing points and leadership.
That's great. Boys cross country, coached by Rick Murray, with a record of 6-1, and the girls cross country team was coached by Mike Talbot with a record of 5-2. Talk about some of the athletes on that team and how some of them might contribute to the winter's season and the spring season.
Well, definitely the boys had a great nucleus of seniors. Alex Schatzkoff was our 3rd GMC boys champion ever in the history of school. He joins Mr. Schaefer and Mr. Lee as the 2 other previous winners that we had. Alex was also named player of, or runner of the year by the Home News and the Star Ledger. Outstanding runner. that will carry on to winter track and spring track. Ryan Williams was a junior who did a great job for us. He finished in the top 10 in the county, so he's going to be fine. We had Cliff Gerber as a senior, Lucas Welsh, who provided quality points for us in scoring that gave us a second place finish in the GMC and also allowed us to qualify for the state championship game. Again, I can't say enough about Rick Murray and the job he does in working the kids. He works extremely hard. His workouts are all like a teacher's lesson plan in science, down to the minute. And that's the success as a result of kids being dedicated in him. And then there's a kid, Danny Miller, who's a freshman who won the county freshman championship. So we've got some young kids coming up with
Danny
Ryan.
Miller, did you say?
Gilbert.
Danny Gilbert. Okay, so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Girls cross country, 5 and 2. They took, I think it was a 4th in the GMCs, and they also took a 2nd in the red division. And Megan Donovan spearheaded that team, and she'll be back next year. And Mike Talbot's an outstanding coach also. So I'm real pleased with the success of our cross country teams.
And again, a lot of these athletes are going to be running in the winter.
Megan
not outside,
happens to play basketball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I would say so. You can always use speed and endurance. You know, as I'm going down the list here, and we have about 5 more teams to talk about, but the thing that strikes me is the depth of professionalism. I know that, well, like, for instance, the next team we're going to talk about, field hockey, Cindy Todorov. You can't ask for a better coach. You know, with her, she's so ethical, she's professional, she's confrontational when she needs to be, and you have to feel really good about the quality of your coaching staff.
From top to bottom, even at the lower levels, when you got like a Dave Neeskins who does the basketball at the lower level, or Charlie Janex who coaches 8th grade girls soccer. Yeah, we're pretty good. We have quality people, and that's the result of East Brunswick, the Board of Education, hiring good teachers. If you're a good teacher, you can be a good coach. And you know they're going to handle any situation that comes up in a professional way and in the correct way. And Cindy, Cindy and I speak. Cindy says, Frank, we need to get a tougher schedule. Frank, we're not going to be ready for this team. Let's see if we can try to go down a level. But Cindy is East Brunswick field hockey. From running clinics to promoting the sport, well and beyond anyone can imagine. She is the reason we're so successful. And she gets some good athletes out there, and some of them maybe drop a sport and come to her, but Rachel Schneider, Jennifer Werringer, Erin Whalen, who's only a sophomore, and then Amy Kranuski, who's an outstanding softball player. Just 4 individuals, and I know I left many more out. She just molds them, puts them in the right spot, and they produce. Yeah, she's as good as coach as there any in the state.
Let's go to girls volleyball, coached by Greg Rutz, and an exciting sport. The team finished with a 19-10 record?
Yes.
Okay.
That's legit.
Okay.
Okay, now, volleyball, there's no limit in the number of games you play, and sometimes you'll play a doubleheader in one day. Girls won the red division, or the division championship, first ever in the GMC, and they made it to the GMC finals. We're getting there in volleyball. We got to work on some feeder programs and younger programs. The phys ed staffs at the lower levels are teaching the correct way of serving, setting, spiking. But we just need the kids, like the other sports, to get involved in AAUs or travel teams. And because we have the coaching, we have the facilities, and now we're going to just get the kids to lift it up to that next level so we can contend for state championships.
And it's a fun sport to watch, too.
Yeah. Deborah Wall, Leslie Anderson, and Lauren Schaefer did a great job for us this year. They were all division-type players.
Great. And again, another one of those quality coaches, girls tennis, Karen Grant, 16-5 record. That's outstanding. With some great individuals.
With a young team. We had the Player of the Year again. We had Debbie Sharnack was Player of the Year by the Star-Ledger and the county, and the Home News. She was county champ. We won the county champ in the Red Division championship for the 10th consecutive year. And she's just another outstanding coach, putting the people in the right spot. But congratulations to Debbie, who just did a great job of leading this team and setting the tone and how to practice, how to work. And Anna Cooperstein did a great job for us at singles also.
That's great. Cheerleading with Lynn Adams. You included him with the sports.
Well, I put
as you should.
undefeated. I put undefeated down there because if there was competition, we'd win. And we had, again, with Kaylee Russo and Lindsay Voyman doing the, being the captains and setting the tone for everyone else. And Lynn, Mrs. Adams said at the assembly the other day how other schools constantly come up to her or other ADs say, how do you get your girls to do this? Or, wow, your girls are good.
Yeah.
She wasn't kidding when she told the student body that, because I get those compliments all the time, and I try to relay them to the coach and the athletes as much as possible. But we look good, and we're active, and you know, I'm proud to say that that's our cheerleading squad.
And will there be a different team for the winter?
We had tryouts again already.
Okay.
We try out for each season. Some girls elect not to come out. Some go to different sports. Some from a fall sport come out. But the majority of them are the same. But there are changes.
One of the qualifications must be how high you can. I tell you what.
We work on limiting that.
Good, because
yeah.
it took my breath away a couple of times during some basketball games. But anyway, but it's very entertaining. Okay, we get about 5 minutes to talk about football for a change. And I have to tell you, this is the sport that I televised, did play-by-play a couple of times this year. And I can't tell you how good a feeling it is to see a team that stuck together, went through an 0-12 or 0-11, was it? Or 0-10 last year, okay? And come through with a 6-4 mark, and did so in such a wonderful way. I always remember the team after, I'm trying to think of the game it was, it must have been against Perth Amboy. They won the game, and they came running off the field. And it was such a nice thing to say, to see. What are your feelings about the football program and the turnaround this year?
I thought it was, besides the coaching staff, making the kids and them all believing together, the attitude of the seniors. There was, you know, something must have been said last year that, in Alan Groholz's house, I guess this is where it said, and said, we're not going to go through this again. And the statement was made, and they played together as a team. I don't think they were worried about who's getting the headlines, who's scoring the points, who's getting the award, who's getting the award for the most outstanding player. There was a lot of teamwork, perseverance, and character by this team. A lot of games we won, we could have lost, Jim. A lot of games we won, we could have lost, but they showed a lot of character. You know, the Bishop Bar game, the halfback pass in overtime. That could have gone the other way. The Union game could have, because they were athletes, that could have gone the other way. But everyone was extremely excited for the team, especially the student body that really came out and cheered in a real positive manner.
And shouldn't this serve as a reminder that as much as you can have physical talent, so much of this game is up here, and that if you can make a commitment and believe in yourself, believe in your teammates, and this, after all, is a team game. It's no one player can win it all on their own.
Well, I think there were and at the banquet the other day, you saw that there were different names being named MVP of each game. Like one game, Woodbridge, it was Chris Riccio. He had over 100 yards. Mark Mariski, who the kids had all confidence in the world in, he may have won a lot more. But Brian Robinson got 200 yards against, who was that, Union at the end? Okay, there are a lot of arenas. Then you have Brian Campbell having a big interception against Bishop Bar. And the interior play of, you know, Groholz and McCarthy blocking. I mean, Harry was Mr. Morris was ecstatic about the job they did. And then you got a kid like Joey Alexander, who maybe didn't get a lot of ink, but just a hard-nosed kid, who, by the way, got 800 in his math SATs and has an appointment to West Point.
That's wonderful.
If he wishes.
I hope he doesn't play football there. Never mind.
And Blaine McAvoy, another member of the football team, he's up for an appointment down at the Naval Academy. But that's the type of quality kid we have. And then we have a kid like a Jeffrey Heilman, who was a backup,
Sure.
but just hung in there and was there when the coach needed him. And that was what's neat about this senior group.
Is there a reason to think that this success can continue, can be built
Oh,
on?
absolutely. I think there's young kids out there. There's a Danny Fessel out there, or the young quarterback, Mariano's got some nice skills. Robinson's coming back. Brian Robinson, he's as good as anyone.
Sure.
So, yeah, we're going to be all right next year.
All right.
A lot of it, of course, depends on, the other team and how the kids develop. It doesn't happen by accident.
You're
And
absolutely
sometimes, we get caught up in the winning that, well, we're just going to show up. Maybe in the other sports, sometimes you lose a game because you're saying, oh, we're East Brunswick, we're supposed to win. No. We have found out over the years that it doesn't happen that way.
Well, my congratulations, Frank, to the success of the football program, to all the coaches who have done so much to, again, make East Brunswick sports so successful and what they are. And, of course, congratulations to you for being the one at the top that directs everything. I have to tell you that we're out of time.
All right.
So thank you very much once again for joining us on this edition of Sports Talk. This is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.